Countless concussions led to an historic settlement today, with the NFL expected to pay out over $750 million to brain-damaged players.
978432.
978.
Decision on the settlement comes after former Heisman Trophy winner Rashaan Salam was found dead at the age of 42.
I've seen stars like in the cartoons, where you'll see stars. I've been hit where I've seen black spots. I've been hit where I see two of you.
Football is a violent game. Everybody knows that. But over the last few years, we have discovered that it is even more damaging to those who partake in it than previously thought. 40 years ago, concussions weren't thought to be a major injury by any means. It was seen similar to how we might look at a sprained ankle today. Tape it up and get back out there. This all changed when chronic traumatic encephalopathy, or CTE, was discovered and shed some light on the real dangers at hand. CTE is a degenerative brain disease that is brought on by frequent traumatic blows to the head, something that is fundamental to the game of football. In 2017, a study took place where a neuropathologist examined the brains of 111 deceased former NFL players. How many of them were found to have CTE? 110. The ages of the players studied ranged from as old as 89 to as young as 23.
New tackling form and techniques have been developed to minimize the risk of injury to both the ball carrier and the defensive player. An example of bad tackling is shown here, where the defensive player leads headfirst into the offensive player's helmet. This is especially dangerous to both players as the force of the tackle is directly absorbed by the player's helmet and head. Another common mistake in tackling is for the defensive player to lower their head and use the crown or top of their helmet to initiate a forceful blow to the offensive player. This form of tackling has left players paralyzed due to severe neck injuries. In this clip, the proper tackling technique is shown as the defensive player uses his shoulder to make contact with the offensive player while keeping his head up to reduce neck injuries.
Heads Up Football program was sponsored by the NFL and numbers of college football conference. They work to mitigate injuries in the practice and in the games by promoting good coaching, blocking, tackling form, and health safety. This organization is involved in over 7,000 high school and youth programs. This program is fairly new since it started in 2012. Hopefully, in the future, we will see less injury.
Throughout the history of football, the advancements in helmet technology has helped greatly in protecting players from head injuries. A study published by the Journal of Neurosurgery in 2013 found that modern helmets are much more effective at protecting players from head injuries compared to earlier leather helmets. This study was backed by researchers from Virginia Tech who built an automatic head impact machine to compare the effectiveness between leather helmets and modern-day plastic helmets. They found that modern helmets help reduce the risk of concussions from 45 to 96%. Although there have been many improvements in helmet technology, researchers say that there will never be a helmet that is concussion-free. On top of new technology, the NFL has also implemented new rules in order to make the game safer. In order to keep both players involved in a collision safe, the targeting rule was recently implemented. The rule states that the player can no longer lower their heads and initiate contact with their helmets, or the team will be penalized. In the past year, the NFL also introduced the defensive player rule. This rule makes it illegal to contact players who don't have the ability to protect themselves during certain times. The most recent rule change was changing the kickoff from the 30-yard line to the 35-yard line. Many NFL coaches suggested this rule in order to improve player safety.
How y'all doing? I'm Billy Diekman from Lincoln, Nebraska. Played for Tom Osborne in 1996. Played Peyton Manning in the Orange Bowl. I was a freshman. I've done some hitting in my life, and I hope I still got enough brain cells up here for everybody to still, learn something.
Do you have maybe any perspective, being a player, that maybe an average fan doesn't quite understand about the whole issue of concussions and safety in football?
Spring practices, no more. Less games, less everything, because the more times you get in your stance, the more chances of you getting a concussion there is. So we need to lower, it doesn't need to be 365 days out of the year. 20 years ago, that's what I did. And I mean, it was tough. I can barely walk across this campus. I got an ankle, a knee. I mean, I'm lucky to have my teeth. I'm lucky to have anything.
Yeah.